Good evening and welcome to the Build With Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to finish a model kit, start a new one, and of course, hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Site, the Mode, and chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can play all those emotes. Also, the blue emote is new, but I keep not saying it because I've said the other thing so often. But yeah, I got emotes. If you're a tier 2 subscriber, you get those cool blue emotes. You get to be Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Pat in there. But yeah, throw those emotes in. Aristovan throwing those emotes in. Appreciate that. If you're not a subscriber, you can just say hi. You can use other people's emotes. I believe tonight's stream will be relaxed is a way to put it. But I feel like we're going to have not a ton of folks tonight, and that's okay. That happens. While I would prefer to have a ton of people here every stream, if it means that Wednesday and Thursday could be like a little busier, Thursday's my birthday. Wednesday is just playing Jackbox. And it's nice to have people there for Jackbox. So the hope would be that there'd be people for those streams. If not, it happens. Lord Crashington is here. Welcome, Lord Crashington. Happy to have you here. Thanks for using the emotes and being here in general. But yeah, now what's on the agenda for this evening? Lashbrook is here. Hello, Lashbrook. Well, we have the Exia Repair 2. It's body complete, but we still need to build the GN sword and the GN shield. The sword is also kind of like a shield. We got to build the sword and the shield, and then we're done. And that kit's done, and then we're going to start the Kenbu. The Kenbu is from Aim for the Border. God, what is this fucking name of that? Yeah. It's the new Sunrise Bandai Gundam show, not Gundam Mobile Suit show, I should say, that I haven't watched because it didn't seem good, so I haven't watched it. But this model kit looks cool. It's a 172 scale. It's got lots of boxes. It's very boxy. So we'll put that together. Now, was the next thing that I was supposed to build the Hello Kitty / Zaku 2 combo pack? Yes. But apparently that won't arrive till tomorrow. Looks like it actually did get shipped and should arrive here at my residence tomorrow evening. Or tomorrow afternoon, should say. So that's not the next thing on the docket. Asterisk. It's not the next thing on the docket. Really, on Thursday, for my birthday, I'm going to build the Kirby entry crate. Will that take all stream? No. Hey, Jam. Welcome. Happy to have you here. Kirby won't take all stream, but I want to build it just as something special and fun for Thursday because it is my 42nd birthday. I want to build Kirby. So the next kit I build after the Kenbu is completed will be that Hello Kitty Zaku 2. And we will, of course, we'll build the full Zaku 2. Sharksuke says, happy Thursday birthday. Thank you, Sharksuke. Thanks for being here. Holiday affecting shipping. So, Lord Crashington, sales affected shipping. So it could have arrived today. It should have arrived sometime last week because it took over a week for them to go from purchased to mailed to me. It didn't get mailed until this past Friday. Now, of course, with June 10th being a federal holiday, there was no mail yesterday. Great. But it should have been mailed before Friday. This is USA Gundam Store taking a week to process and ship out my order, which is most likely because of the fact that they were having sales and they just had a high volume. So it should have been here way before it got delayed and is now arriving tomorrow. I should have had that ready to go last week. So that's that. It didn't make it better that there was no mail yesterday, and I'm getting it tomorrow. Anyway, yeah, so I'll be working on that. Of course, we'll build the Zaku 2. We'll build the Hello Kitty. Then we will build the parts we need to make the Hello Kitty Zaku 2. And then we will use the remaining parts to make the weird, Zaku 2 head on the Hello Kitty body that looks a little bit like Strong Bad, but not kind of. It just happens that way. When you put a robot head on Hello Kitty's body, it kind of looks like Strong Bad. It's the gloves. It's the glove hands. All right, we should get model kit building here in a second. we'll give it one quick second here. I'm going to reply to my tweet, see if we can get a few more friends to join us tonight. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. I don't know. But I'm excited. Yeah, we'll get into some model kit building. Let's go to the overhead. There's the overhead. There's our kit. We're body complete on this kit. We're going to push this up here. Just get out of our way, and then we will continue to work on this part here. Let all that power go to Hello Kitty's girl head. Indeed. I mean, we'll be building that at some point. It was purchased by someone who was preferred to remain anonymous, but they purchased they saw that it was for sale and knew I hadn't built it, that I had built the RX-7A2 Hello Kitty, but not the Zaku 2. And they saw that, so they were like, hey, here's a gift card. It's on sale, USA Gundam Store. Here's a USA Gundam Store gift card. You should pick this up, which is lovely of them. One, to think of me, and two, to notice, and then the follow through. Every part of it was great. So we are building the GN Sword Custom. It's kind of like a sword gun in that there's it's got the blade, and it's somewhere between a wrist blade and a sword gun, and I do like it. But you'll see as we prepare the kit how it is like those things. And then we'll work on the Kenbu. Again, have not watched the anime this Kenbu is from, but it looked cool and the price was right, so I picked it up, and then it won the $10 patrons poll as a thing I should be building. So there you go. Once again, reminder, this Wednesday, 2 days from tonight, I will be playing good old Jackbox Party Pack 8. It is something of a birthday tradition the past few years that on or around my birthday, I play Jackbox. So we will be doing that. I hope you will hang out for that fun evening with me. That'll be Wednesday, and then Thursday will be my actual birthday. It'll be I will be turning 42, and I will be building a Kirby model kit. Let's see, do I have Kirby here to show you? Yes, I'm building Kirby. There's Kirby. Check it out. There's Kirby. It's a Kirby entry grade. I'll be applying stickers. It will be very easy. I will finish it during the stream, and then I will pick up where I've left off on the Kenbu, which we are starting tonight. That's the plan for Thursday. I should mention, we're currently at 43 subscribers out of 45. Our main goal is 50, but you start with 45 and you work your way up. So just putting that out there if you are thinking about becoming a subscriber or gifting a sub to somebody in the community, joining the gift sub leaderboard. If you gifted one sub, you'd be on the gift sub leaderboard for the rest of June. That's just a thing. It's just a thing. All right, so this is going to go here. And we'll panel line this with some black. Make it look all cool and rad before we add even more parts onto it. Just add some black on here. Trying to get black onto our clear green of our sword. We'll clean that up if it does, but safety first. Lord Crashington, I have no idea why this was suspicious. Suspicious user monitored by... I have no way of... I don't know why, Lord Crashington, that came up as a suspicious user. But you did redeem your points, so here's some ska. Thank you for using your channel points for ska. Do not know why you were considered a suspicious user. That is a strange thing. All you did was use your channel points. Suspicious ska. Yeah, indeed. It might be that, honestly, it could be that no one has redeemed channel points since you last redeemed channel points for ska, and that, tripped the thing. That could be it. I don't know. I have no idea. But that might be that, it didn't look at the time in between. The fact that you did that on Saturday, but it was just no one's used this since. So weird. I don't know. This is conjecture on my part. Aristophan wants me to ring the bell. That's a channel points reward that I have. Here you go. Thank you for using your channel points. I do still have the bell, as you see. Shark Suitcase says we can't go on together with suspicious scars. With suspicious scars. Yes, I do still have that. That is why it's still a channel point, because I would remove that if I didn't. Gotta ring that bell, the physical bell. You got to give the people what they want. All right, this is a quick hit. We're gonna do a quick story here before we get into other things. According to Tony Hawk, and what does he know? Am I right? Apparently, Activision was gonna go ahead with Tony Hawk 3 and 4, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 remix. Apparently, that was planned. That Vicarious Visions was gonna be doing 3 and 4, Pro Skater 3 and Pro Skater 4. But Blizzard had Vicarious Visions fold into them and not be their own, project, and just become a just part of Blizzard fully instead of a studio within Blizzard. So that is now not a thing. And then it is funny because this is on a stream where Tony Hawk is talking to somebody. He's like a call in. And he goes, and I do appreciate the language he used was like, well, we were going to do 3 and 4, but Vicarious Visions got folded, merged into Blizzard. And then, Activision is going through some stuff. So who knows? And it's just like, yeah, going through some stuff. That's a way of putting it. It's like, that's a bummer for Pro Skater fans. I'm bad at skateboarding games, but I appreciate them existing. And I wish people got cool remakes of those games. So, sucks. I don't have any clever commentary for that. I just think that that's a bummer. And, maybe someday. 1 and 2 did very well, so a 3-4 collection makes sense. Though I'd have said 1 through 3 should have been the collection. I could see that, Lord Crashing said. Yeah, doing 1 through 3 instead. Ideally, it would have been DLC for the 1 and 2 game. Last week, that would be interesting. Yeah, 3 and 4 DLC could have been a thing. You'd think that Activision would just want to sell 3 and 4 as a pack, because it would theoretically make them more money. But yeah, as DLC could have been something. They could have done that. Again, I don't necessarily think they would have. I think they would have just been like, hell yeah. Buy this shit, fuckers. Buy it again. All right, so now we're building the handle here. You can see you can hold it like a gun right there. See that? And it'll also open up, which is kind of cool. And then we attach this part of the blade to this part here with F24. Or sorry, 34. So yeah, that was like that made the news wire. It's been a slow video game news day, so I understand why that took off. Rhea Ripley is not competing against Bianca Belair this Sunday at Money in the Bank. I was not watching Raw, so I have not seen, if it's happened yet, who is taking that spot. Because there's going to be some kind of match to determine who becomes the new number 1 contender to face her. So I don't know who that's going to be. But that sucks because Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair is a good match. And possibly Rhea was going to win that match. Because one could see a Bianca Belair and Street Profits feud with the Judgment Day. Could have been interesting. That could have been something. They help Rhea cheat to win, and then Bianca gets back up from the Street Profits. Be good for everybody. And you get like Montez Ford versus Finn Balor, which didn't realize I wanted until I started thinking about it. Since I started fantasy booking, booking the territory. I was like, oh wait, that sounds good. All right, so I need F35, which I already popped out by mistake before. So there we go, F35. And then I need D39, which is easy to find. So that's my wrestling update. No big update there. Not a lot to talk about there. I did not watch Impact Slammiversary last night, but seemed cool, seemed good. There were some surprises. I saw photos of Kurt Angle's terribly filmed, basically a cameo video he made for it, and I was like, oh. But AJ Styles made a video, which is nice, and like referenced people who weren't there, and that was good. It's like, oh, that's fun. It's like, yeah, AJ should be making that. My British friends were very excited because Speedball Bailey won a match, and they're big Speedball Bailey fans, so that's nice. 27. Okay, these have undergating pieces, so I got to clip off these undergating pieces, which I will momentarily. Don't rush me, please. That's 28. Great. Okay. We got to do undergates here. Basically, there's some just extra little parts in here. We just got to clip these off. Just clip off some nubbins. If I see nubbins, I clip nubbins. All right. So, last night I did some grilling. It was Father's Day here in the United States, observed in the U.S. Father's Day. And my dad had requested for Father's Day grilled ribs, barbecue spare ribs, baby back ribs specifically. Barbecued baby back ribs. Not a dry rub. We're talking wet barbecue sauce ribs. I have never done ribs on a grill before. So instead of doing a smoke solution, marinating for hours and all that, we did get ribs that were covered in barbecue sauce already and pre-cooked, so it was just heating them through on the grill, but did the whole basting process, got everything looking really good and ready to go. Did all the things you're supposed to do to make it very tasty. A little bit of burnt, but like very little of the 2 racks that I prepared. Also cooked up a sausage patty and some hot dogs because not everyone wanted ribs, which is, to me, bonkers. But photos are on my Twitter. If you didn't see, I did real good. They turned out great, and my dad was pleased, which is nice. That it is Father's Day. As much as I would like to gear up for my goddamn life that is not here, it is nice to be able to spend Father's Day with my father and spend Mother's Day with my mother previously. That is nice. It's going to be very nice to do. Friday, we're going out for dinner for my birthday. Going to go get some, actually, like, pretty damn decent Mexican food. And I'm excited to be able to spend my birthday with them. Of course, my birthday had already passed before, in 2020, before I came here to South Carolina. But last year and this year, of course, I'll spend with them. And that's just been nice. It's nice to have that opportunity to spend some time with them and see them. It's just, yeah. I appreciate being able to do this. Why don't these, like, stay on well? These don't feel like they clip in quite right. Click that. Yeah, these parts of the shield pop off very easily, and I think they're meant to do that, but they don't seem to want to stay on too well, and I don't like that. Good evening, Dirty. Welcome. We were just talking about some grilling that I did last night. But yeah, I do like grilling, an excuse to get on that grill. Also working with controlled temperature, working with trying to get down to low heat. That's good to kind of figure that out. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I saw the photos. Yeah. But yeah, trying to get down to that low heat, make sure that everything looked, was good, was cooked evenly, and all that. Uh, Happy to do that. Happy to get out on the grill. And like I said, um, I'm not one to do ribs before. I've never done ribs on a grill before, and even though it was just heating them through and it wasn't like cooking them from scratch, it still was like, yeah, I still didn't want to fuck it up. That was dinner. That's the real thing, right? Did you start in the oven? So, Dirty, these were pre-prepared. These were, already pre-cooked with the barbecue sauce on them. Of course, added to with that barbecue sauce. Wasn't going to have just what they gave us. Worked in my own supply as well of sauce. Had to do that. But yeah, that was those are pre-cooked and then just finished on the grill, trying to get them, make sure that it tastes good and looked good and all that. Looking good isn't the most important thing, but you don't want it to look gross. You still want it to look good. God, these early real grades are a piece of they're not bad. These early real grades look really good, but they are fragile kits. Like, so much of this just wants to, parts of these just want to pop off and fall away constantly, that I'm like always very nervous about these things. Like, I would not display this. I would take photos with it, certainly, but I would never display this kind of kit. I'd just be too afraid. All right, so we got to do blade like this, and then handle. Okay, so then, yeah, the handle can come up like this here. Right, that's how this gun blade works. Yeah, works like this. All right. Right, exactly. Hey, Liz, welcome. Yeah, we're just talking. I did some grilling last night, and now I'm finishing this model kit, but also kind of annoyed with this model kit. Liz, if you would like, you're more than welcome to mention in chat when you are taking part in the Summer Games Done Quick. If you have if you want to promote yourself in there, you're more than welcome to, as you are taking part in that, which begins on the 26th. You were one of a couple people I know who will be doing things at Summer Games, which is fucking awesome. Why is this not going in right? This should be popping in. There we go. Now I got it right. Okay. You're running McDonald's Treasureland Adventure at like 9 in the morning on Tuesday. Hell yeah. That's awesome. That's fucking great. Very excited. And of course, Summer Games Done Quick is on the, you'll be able to watch it, at Games Done Quick, his website, the Twitch, and also they do have a YouTube archive that goes up that is like per run. And it takes them a little while to get that stuff up, but not that long. They do have people pretty dedicated to getting that shit up on the web, so folks will be able to check that out later as well, in case the 9 a.m. Does not work for y'all. But that's rad. It is a weird thing where I'm just like, oh, like I know like a couple people, and I also know some people that are like gonna be on folks' couches. Which is fun, being on the, being there to support, and that's neat too. Why is this not clipping right? Is this the wrong hand for this? Which hand do they want me to use for this? Let me see if a different hand is better for this. There's possible. There are other hands that we could use. So maybe it is, yeah, F10. All right, F10 and F11. They're saying to use that. So maybe that's why I've been unable to get this hand to work, is because I was using the wrong hand for this weapon. I would like to use the right hand for it. And we need E1 goes on there. Okay. We'll get this right. We'll get this straightened out, folks, because we're almost done with this kit, so we want it to look good. But yeah, that's awesome, Liz. That's very cool. And then, who else is running? Let me see. Got that. Pop back over here. Scrolling back to see information I have on. Okay. Let's see. What we got going on here? We had Liz talk about that, and then who else is doing this? Someone else replied to me. Oh, Trace Evans is running Phantasmophobia. Sorry, not Phantasmophobia. That's a made up. That's a conject. That's me combining a bunch of games. Phasmophobia on Monday night with some people, which is cool. Which is also rad that is happening. But yeah, Trace Evans, PSEG, you may know from moderating Giant Bomb forums. So you might remember Trace. And also assisting with many things and just being a cool person. So yeah. All right. So let's get this hand on correctly this time. Let's see if I can do it this time here. Is this right? No. Okay. I now have the correct hand for this. Great. We can now put on the cool connect parts here. Did I put this on backwards? Is that why it's not working? Oh, awesome. That's excellent. That's wonderful. You know why this wasn't working correctly? Because I put it together wrong. That's fun. Isn't that fun? It's very fun. When you're like, oh, I just didn't do it right. It's very fun. All right, but this will be easy to fix here. I should be able to do this just with my fingernail. The part separator, the official Bandai part separator, is coming sometime this month, supposedly. It has not shipped yet from Gundam Planet, who I pre-ordered it from. But hopefully it will ship soon. Also, supposedly in the mail, but FedEx hasn't updated their tracker information, is the a model kit that I pre-ordered. Oh God, I have to learn how to say this. It's a Gundam, because of course it is. Is it the Ascapulus? Yeah, AESCULAPIUS. Ascapulus. I don't know. I'm gonna watch some Gunpla builders on YouTube pronounce the name, and then I'll eventually learn how to say it right. Scrapulus. So it's a rough one. It's a rough one to say. All right, we'll pop that in like this. Oh. I don't know. I'm a little frazzled tonight, folks, and I don't have a good reason for it. I did a lot of emailing today and worked on a few projects, but like not stressed particularly. I wasn't like super tired or anything. I didn't like do a lot. I went for a walk, but the weather's surprisingly nice over here right now. So like, yeah, I'm just a little frazzled tonight and I don't quite know why, and that's okay. It happens. I'm not going to beat myself up about it, but yeah. Okay, so one thing, as we finish this kit here, one thing I did want to talk about a bit, if I may, because it's my stream, so I certainly can. Let's talk about what it means to disassociate from a thing you're known for. Now, I'm not stepping down from anything that I'm known for, but this topic kind of came up because a friend of mine made an announcement that he is going to be stepping back from model kit building while he continues to stream. He is just going to become a variety streamer instead of a model kit builder who occasionally does other things and feels weird when he does those other things. Whereas, as you folk know, I am primarily a model kit builder, but of course I have my Wednesday streams which I've been doing pretty consistently since I started, which is important to me. It is important to have that extra thing because I didn't want a model kit built 4 nights a week. And I want to also be able to talk about anime on a special Wednesday, play Jackbox with the community, play a Pokemon randomizer. Like those things were and continue to be important to me to have the opportunity to do those things. But it's like, what do you do? Like, my name is Pat Baer. This is the Build With Baer Workshop. But it doesn't have to be the Build With Baer Workshop. It's twitch.tv/Pat Baer. It's just me. What if I had Gunpla in my name? What if I had Gunpla in my identity? Like, what if it was like Model Kits with Pat was my Twitch name? And then I'm like, hey, I want to become a speedrunner. Everyone would be like, but what's that have to do with model kits? You know what I mean? It's a thing that a lot of people deal with in their own identity. And that goes even further when you have created something, right? Or let's say in my personal experience, let's talk about this. I, for many years, worked for the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater. Started there as an intern, became a tech person, became head of the tech department, became head of 2 tech departments, house managed for a long time. There was never a week from 2004 until 2019 where I didn't work for that company. When I stopped being the head tech there for a while, I was still the weekend house manager. This kit is done, by the way. We're going to take a photo of it because it's done. Get a photo in here of this kit. The Exia Repair 2 real grade is not my favorite real grade ever built. That's a Sazabi. But it wasn't the worst real grade ever built, which is the wing. So we're looking at more towards the wing than the Sazabi, but still a fun build. And the results look good, even if I think if you were going to buy this, I would use liquid cement to really seal a lot of the parts, because a lot of these parts, pose it the way you want it and then seal it up, because it's not that stable of a kit. I wouldn't have it stand up without a stand. I would, do a lot. This requires some work. But anyway, I worked at UCB for a long time. And when I got laid off in 2019, I had to really think about what the fuck did that mean for me? What does it mean to not be there? Knowing that I wasn't going to be on the performer page, so I wasn't going to get emails about shows, that forget trying to, oh yeah, I have to think about work and all that, but people that, my work email was the way they contacted me. Of course, I'm on social media, so that wasn't as big a concern. But I did have to think a lot about, what does it mean to not be a UCB person? And other people have dealt with that in the fact that they oh, I was a performer there. I'm known for performing there. I'm moving, to another place. I'm going to another theater. I'm going to retire from comedy stuff. Liz says, once I retired from the library, it hit me like this too. Yeah. And I said, I worked there for a very long time. It was and no matter what I do in my life, I pride myself on being good at what I do. So I took a lot of pride in being a very good tech person. Of course, when I worked other places, that followed along with that. I made sure that I was still a very good tech person no matter where I went. But it does have this I don't know, it was this thing where I got very used to being associated with that place, and it was a big part of my identity, and losing that. So some people just go cold turkey and they just drop off the face of the earth and you never see them again related to the thing they did. I did I've got to make this okay approach, which I don't know if I would recommend to other people, but it worked for me. One thing I did was, as soon as I found out, I started booking myself on shows. I wanted to guest on some shows, wanted to get out there. Um, they seem to show a Twitch recap from last month on your Steam page now. Oh yeah, I think they've been. Yeah, Lord Crashers, I believe they have been experimenting with the recaps here and there. I haven't seen any of them, but I've heard that is a thing that they are testing. Um, but anyway, I went and did some shows just so that I was like around, and then I also like I took some time to just not be there. But then about a month into me being unemployed and no longer working for the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater, I went to go see a show with the full intention of paying. No taped seat, no standing in the back, no comps, nothing. I wanted to pay for a ticket and sit in a seat. I hadn't paid for a ticket in years. But I wanted to do it because I was like, this is the new normal, and I have to be okay with the new normal. I am a creature of habit. I like having a schedule, even amongst the chaos of things. I like being a scheduled person. So the idea that I couldn't be have a schedule was just like didn't sit with me. So I needed to create a schedule. If wasn't there, I was going to make a schedule. We're starting with the leg, which is always weird when you don't start with the chest, but we're starting with the right leg. That's where they want us to go for this, so we'll do it. And of course, our second step does require stickers, because of course it does. And we are doing the feet twice. We'll do both feet at the same time. So sure, this is made. Even though this isn't a Gundam, it's made by Bandai, so it's still going to have a lot of the same stuff. But anyway, I tried to like force myself into accepting the new normal. And also, of course, the first day I went to go see a show, the manager who had been an intern under me was like, I'm not going to charge you. Just go. You can watch the show. And I was like, all right, well, fine. I mean, if you're going to comp me, fine. But I went, and like a week later, I went to see somebody who I went and bought a ticket because the ticket person didn't know me, and I went and sat in a seat, and it was fine. And it was weird. It felt very weird. Doing shows felt very weird. A lot of it felt like strange because I had been there for so long and then not be there. When people would see me at some of the other venues that I was teching at, that felt very weird because there were people who didn't know, because I don't expect everybody to know all this shit, but like, they're like, oh, you're also working here? It's like, no. And then the thing that made me feel good was people who didn't know what was going on would be like, wait, they laid you off? What the fuck? And I'd be like, yeah, am I right? Like, it made sense. They were closing one of their 2 theaters at the time. I worked at the theater they were closing. They could have laid off the other person that worked there and replaced him with me. He'd only been there a few months, but that would have been a weird thing. Who knows, like, what this person's contract was. I don't think there was really a contract they had to worry about. I just think that they were like, well, we could lay off Pat because we're closing the theater that he is the technical director at, and then we will save a bunch of money when we let him go. Which they needed to, because they were closing a theater, so they need to save money. I think it was a money thing. And that's not great, but I understand it. I mean, I don't agree with it. I mean, they did let me go. They fucked up. But then, of course, a year and change after that, they would be forced to shut down, and they got their loans based on, they got their, the government loan based on how many people were employees, and then they laid everybody off. Understandably, you can do that as long as you pay back that loan, but they did get a loan based on how many employees they had, which was meant to help with payroll. And if they had used it for payroll, they wouldn't have to pay it back, but they didn't use it for payroll. But they laid off everybody anyway, and then the New York theaters, they have no idea if and when those are going to come back, because also UCB as a property got sold to a The dude you've never heard of from The Onion because he came in later. He's not an original Onion guy. He's a later Onion guy. So he's an Onion person you've never heard of. A talent person who's been done it for many, many years. And the investment arm of the LA Dodgers purchased the Upright Citizens Brigade. So I have heard nothing about New York, and they have not reached out to me. So I wouldn't expect them to. Now, if they were going to reopen a theater in New York and they wanted some cool buzz, hiring your boy Pat would be a big deal. It would be like a smart move for them. But I don't necessarily believe that I'm not holding my breath on that one. We'll see what happens. I also talked a lot of shit while that was happening, but that's fine because who cares at that point? I am in a position where I can talk some shit. But anyway, this also kind of came to me as I think about Jeff Gerstmann. Jeff Gerstmann is in a very interesting situation where he is a solo individual on Patreon, streaming, doing podcasts, putting up YouTube videos, doing the solo thing. And Jeff is obviously an elder statesman in the world of games journalism and games press, and like all of that. So it is an odd thing. And then founder of Giant Bomb. Like he and Ryan working together, getting an investment, with Whiskey Media, starting Giant Bomb, building it up, having employees come in, having employees go, having employees start their own things or go to other places or get out of games altogether, and do all that. And then now he's going on his own. And what does that mean? And how does that feel? And all that stuff. And it will be, I think it'll be interesting to see. I don't have any inside information, but to me, you're more likely to see Jeff do something with Fanbyte or Waypoint than you are with Nextlander. Because it doesn't necessarily make sense for him to work with other people who are also asking you to join their Patreon. But maybe, who knows? Who knows where Jeff is going to do and how long this is going to go. Does it make sense for, if I was a company at a game space, does it make sense to throw an invitation out to somebody of Jeff's knowledge base, but also age, but also experience? Yeah, maybe it does, to see what's up. But who knows? Who knows what he exactly wants to do? Right now, he seems to be doing pretty damn good. But the company name will always chase him. There will always be people who want to know when he's going to do stuff with Austin, when he's going to do stuff with Ben, when is he going to do stuff with Nextlander, when's he going to do stuff with, whoever and whatever. And then, as somebody who has been in, as a mod for his streams, the amount of people who are, so interested in, and I don't even think, some of it is malicious, but other people I think is just, it's an obvious conversation. It's who's got more people watching the Twitch stream between him and Giant Bomb on a Tuesday? He's watching, the Summer Game Fest. Well, he's got twice as many people watching as Giant Bomb does, which is not a great indication because there's the Twitch and their website numbers, but whatever. But that, who cares? Also, who the fuck cares? But people do. They care about that shit and they want to talk about that shit. And it's going to be a very long time before that goes away, if it ever goes away. Because it's not like he is starting a new thing with new people. Waypoint found its feet for a very long time and wasn't, oh, what are Patrick and Austin that used to be at Giant Bomb doing now? It became, what is Waypoint up to? Because they had other voices come in and they had their own identity and they had a bunch of people. But when you are solo and you were the face, or at least the co-face of a company, you are associated with that company for a long time, and it's going to take a long time for people to fucking like be understanding that it's like you don't have to compare shit, and maybe you shouldn't compare shit. Yes, I always enjoyed his solo stream stuff at GB and do whatever to keep checking out his current solo stuff. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, right now he's just doing his thing. But, like, the people that are, you know, and look, even if it's a small percentage of people, it's a consistent thing where it's just like, when are you going to do, well, when are you doing stuff? Has he said when he's doing stuff with Nextlander? He'll fucking tell you if he is. You don't have to, like, ask him about it. Like, if he is, he'll say something. Just fucking hang out. He's already told you a bunch of things he's doing. You don't need to worry about it. You know, he's already said a bunch of his projects. Let's panel line this stuff before we start connecting as we do these legs here. We're just going to hit it with gray on this. This white is kind of grayish, but it's not that dark. And I think black would be too dramatic on this. I've also seen a couple YouTube people that have done this kit, and one of them used black on this, and it looked too cartoony. So we're gonna do the gray marker on this, even though this isn't like a pure white. This is an off white that is a tad gray-ish, but we're still just going to use the gray marker on here. I was listening to the first episode of this podcast, which I mostly watched live. I like that his first big project is redoing Encyclopedia Bombastica only with his own choices. Yeah, I mean, that's like, it is and it isn't, right? Because it is like, oh, he's going to talk about old games. But instead, it's like, yeah, he's just going to talk about stuff he wants to talk about. And that's I think, the biggest freeing thing for him is, yeah, you can take lessons he learned. He can take, you know, ideas that he had and see about how they want to work in this context of like the Hall of Fame or the council and all this other stuff. He can do all these things, but at the end of the day, it's just going to be like, Jeff is an individual, not Jeff as the voice of Giant Bomb or the loud guy on the podcast. Yeah, and now he gets to work on stuff that he's excited about. Like, he wants to talk over pressers. Great, he got to do that. He wants to play old games. He just did some of that. He'll keep doing that. He's going to play games that he's interested in and talk about those games on a podcast, talk about news and give his thoughts, and he's going to be able to do that, and that's great. And then it looks like once a month, or who knows when that'll start, he wants to do a wrestling podcast or a wrestling video in some form because he's interested in that. Again, that is where I have already said, hey, about if there's anything that we could collaborate on, it would be that, one would assume. I mean, unless he wants to, like, when the new Jackbox comes out, if he wants to play that and needs to have people to play Jackbox, like, you know, like whatever, that kind of thing. But if he's looking to, you know, to talk wrestling, I'm in. I'm watching the products. I'm happy to talk to him. But mostly I just want him to, like, be happy and do cool shit and be excited about what he's working on. I mean, I want that for a lot of people, but certainly also for him. So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see how this works out. And I have to just, like, I have to be okay with chat being, like, unbelievably weird and invasive and demanding answers to questions they shouldn't be asking, and because it's just, at the end of the day, and this is a larger point here. This is beyond the removing yourself from what you're being associated with and all of that. This is like, even if you think you have a right to know things, which you don't, but even if you think you have the right to know things, the expectation that you will get the answers you're looking for is ridiculous. Like, people don't talk, they don't dig into dirt. They don't like uncover stuff for years. Like like, I always say this, like, the CBS thing, the acquisition, Giant Bomb going under the GameSpot umbrella because of all of that. That's when he's talking to John Davison about what happened. Not before that. Like, you didn't get that during it. You didn't get that after it. You got that years and years later. So, like, if you want to know about that, just fucking travel in time or wait for it. Because someday, just gonna want to talk about shit, and then you get to hear it. And that's true with just about everything. Like, you may never know. You don't need to know. Unless something happened that people are like, I have to talk about this. They're not gonna when it comes to that stuff. Some people are an open book. Other people are fucking not. And that's it. That's where you're gonna go. Like, I don't expect this crew to be, tribalism or anything like that, or any of that nonsense of, like, because there are a bunch of people that are just like, oh, I'm done, never again. And it's just like, all right, I mean, sure, a week before this, you were watching other people, and some of those people didn't have Gerstmann on them. So it's like, okay, I mean, you don't have to. I guess for some people they no longer have to pretend, but, like, all right, sure. People there are still fucking cool and doing cool shit, but, like, okay, I guess. I don't know. I don't really have a point there, but I mostly just want people to be happy. I would like the people at Giant Bomb, particularly the new folks coming in, to have a job for quite some time and get to do cool shit. And I hope the new projects they're working on are fun. I mean, more anime shit. Yeah, I'm there for it. More cool shit with cool people. Always excited about that. Dan being out of the wrestling business is probably best, good for him. Like doing cool shit and all of that, like, good for him. I'm sure that obviously his streaming was a way for Dan's creative mind to do cool, weird, sometimes terrible things. And now he'll have a bigger platform for that again, where he gets to do cool, weird, nonsense things. So good for him. Yeah, Lord Crashington. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, the man will talk about what he wants to talk about. And I think that everybody, like, some people are very private about those things. Some people are an open book. Some people change. You may remember a Giant Bomb podcast that was about being dads. There was a dad cast. And you might wonder, it was like the larger Wikimedia dad cast. You might wonder what happened to that. And what happened to that was some of those dads started feeling weird about talking about their kids so publicly. And they started feeling like they didn't want to do it. So they stopped doing it. Because sometimes you can go, hey, you know what? Nah, I'm good. Actually, fuck this. I don't want to do this. Now that I've put some time and thought into it, what if I didn't do this? And other people are kind of stuck in the middle there, and they learn. They're like, they kind of observe. It's like, oh yeah, well, my kids don't need to be in this. And other people are like, well, I'm going to talk about what's going on in my life, and what is in my life is playing video games with my kids, or I'm going to talk from this perspective about this, but, like, maybe not say their names. Like, you don't know the name of Will's daughter. You don't need to. It's cool. But, like, because why would you need to? Like, I know the name of Jeff's kids. You don't need to know their names, but I do. I'm friends with Jeff, but like, there also exists a world where I didn't know those names, and that's also fine. But like, because whatever, because I'm internet friends and like, con friends, but not like call up and like, talk shit for an hour friend, which is fine. Because look, there are very few people that I am like call on the phone, talk to on the phone, and talk some shit for a couple hours with that unplanned. I am like that with very few people. No, Lashbrook. Good joke. That's a good gag. Yeah. I'll say this because this is a funny thing that happened. And I've talked to him about it, so I'm going to say it here. And then we're going to take a pause for the calls in a moment or two, and we're going to talk about whether we should support the channel and do all that. But I will say this just because it, to me, is very funny. Thank you, Ann Hinton, for the follow. Appreciate that. So, Jeff is obviously married. When he was dating his now wife, I found out that they were dating because Jeff and I are Facebook friends, and she tagged him in some photos and like referenced him. And I was like, oh, Jeff's got a girlfriend. Cool. Facebook shouldn't be the person to tell the thing, not the person. Facebook is not how I should have learned that. But apparently, Facebook really wanted everybody to know. Facebook wanted everybody to know that they were a couple. And that was very funny to me. Just be like, oh, all right, well, there you go. I guess Jeff's dating somebody. Nice. But yeah, that was the big discovery for me. It was just Facebook fucking narking on Jeff and his lady. That's how Facebook does a thing, right? Yeah, because Facebook wants me to know, so that I'll be like, oh, I know this person. I'll add them. I didn't know them. We've met once. That's the other thing, right? If the significant other doesn't travel, I have not met them. Alex has done enough in New York when I was in New York that I've met Sam a couple times, which is nice. Very nice to meet. Sam is great. I have been at Alex's house with Sam. So I've run into her a couple times, but like, yeah, it's just like, I don't know. I've seen Vinny's wife a couple times. I've never met Brad's girlfriend because she doesn't go to things that Brad does. Why would she? Why would she go to, Texas and Boston and, Seattle? Like, I don't know why you would do that. That seems nonsensical. Some people do, which I think was always fun. Some people would take some, would go some places. Bianca went to PAX because she wanted to understand what that meant for Dan and what that was for Dan better, which I thought was like neat and fun that she did that, and she had a good time from talking to her about it. But it's like, yeah. So I have to believe Katie, Patrick's wife, did the same thing. I've met her at I think she went to a couple shows. This was pre-kids, so. But yeah, but it's also that might be a thing like when you're thinking about starting a family, maybe you like want to go on these cool trips while you can, and also when your significant other works for a big company, it can make some of that stuff work. That he put on his head during the Game of the Year video where he became a hobo. Yes, for Alex. Yes. Well, yeah. That he was living in that apartment. Still, Alex has been in the same apartment for a very long time in Queens. Anyway, we're gonna talk about manga and anime. There's no good transition, but before we transition to that, we got to talk about me. It's my time to shine. I'm talking about what's going on with your friend Pat and ways you can support what I do here. Um, if you are currently a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, and the Scythe emote into chat. Lord Crashington, it is my week. It's my birthday week. My birthday's on Thursday. I've said that before. I'll probably say it more. It's on Thursday. But yeah, if you're currently a subscriber through the Bear Cave Lego site, if you're a tier 2, you got that bear, the blue emote. Subscribing is the easiest way to support what I do. As you can see, we are currently, we're trying to get to 45 subscribers, and then we'll try to get to 50. But we're going to 45 next. Ghost Valve's here. Hey, Ghost Valve. Becoming a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do through Cash Money. Or if you have Amazon Prime, you linked it with your Twitch, you got that token, use it for me. You can use it for somebody else, but I prefer to use it for me. That's another way to support what we do here through that. You could gift a sub to somebody in the community, like Dark Web Prosciutto did and Francium did. Or if you wanted to, you could do bits and coins. We got a bits and coins leaderboard. And right now we got Harold and Lord Crashington are there. So bits and coins always appreciated. Subscribing is always great. Gifting a sub anonymously or to take credit for that is another way to do it. And I have sound effects for if you do bits or if you subscribe. Because it's nice to have some sound effects on my stream deck. That's just a nice thing that I get to do. Now, if you don't want to do that, and we'll get back to model kit building in a minute, don't worry. There is an alternative. I got several alternatives for me. I got a Patreon, patreon.com/PatBear. There's different rewards for the different tiers. Take a look at that. See if there's anything that stands out to you that you're like, I'll get in on that Patreon. My YouTube channel, obviously it is free to subscribe to YouTube, but there is a paid membership there. You can join and you'll get my Wednesday videos because I put out a Wednesday video every single Wednesday, new video. You can get that on Tuesday. And also direct donations if those monthly options don't appeal to you, but every once in a while you'd like to throw me a bone, you can do that. Direct donations go in, and everything I make through direct donations through Patreon, through Twitch, through YouTube, which also includes AdSense. So watching my videos and seeing ads, or if you have YouTube Premium, just watching my videos also does benefit me. I'm about halfway there to getting another payout, so it'll be a while, but eventually I will get another payout from YouTube. To which I will buy model kits. This Kenbu, the kit I'm working on right now, came from funds. Took funds out, bought a model kit. Price was right. Again, I haven't even watched this anime because it didn't seem good, but the model kits look neat, so I'm building it. Happy to do that. I mentioned that something is coming to me. A gift card was purchased at USA Gundam store, and then was DM'd. I got DM'd the code with a request of something for me to purchase from USA Gundam store, which I did. That is going to be a thing I'll be building in the future. The Hello Kitty / Zaku 2 kit. So that'll be coming in the near future. Purchased a gift card there. Because that, if you buy something from my wish list or from USA Gundam store with a gift card, I will then, it'll jump the queue and I'll build it sooner than other things that I'm working on. Because I have an Amazon wish list, you could buy something from there. I recently added some things into that wish list. There's some very inexpensive Lego sets. There are some more expensive model kits here. There's some Pokemon stuff in there. I got a pretty good little variety of different things. Some pretty expensive Lego, some high grades and master grades. Right now, the Z Gundam, the MK2, is cheaper than it's been. It's $30 right now with free shipping, which is a pretty good price for that. But yeah, I added some model kits to that. I added some Lego pretty recently. There's some gear at the bottom if you want to buy me a new folding table. New, big, heavy duty table. You could purchase that, or a chair that's better than the chair I'm sitting on. But yeah, you buy something. If it's a model kit, it jumps the queue. If it's not a model kit, I'll still do a video about it. And also, I have a throne wish list, which is a smaller, little more boutique place, but it is an alternative to Amazon, and I know people like that. They like their alternatives to Amazon. So you could look at that if you wanted to. A way to support me that doesn't cost any money, we'll get back to building soon, just want to talk about this stuff there, is my Discord. You can join my Discord, and I post build photos at the end of every stream. People post stuff they're working on. I promote the shows I'm doing, or and the streams. And there's a section for you people to promote themselves. Nice little place. A couple of video links for you to check out before we get back to building. Pat Bear's Anime Club. I got a new episode. I put it out today. I'm talking about the Unchosen Ones. The inverse, the playing on the trope in anime of the chosen one. 2 weeks ago, the last video I made for Pat Bear's Anime Club was about Ichigo from was about Bleach, but I talked about Ichigo, the star of that, who is like the ultimate chosen one. Like every arc, they're finding new ways to make him the chosen one. It's a whole thing, or like Naruto's destiny and all this other stuff. But what about the people that don't have that destiny? That just like Goku. Goku's like sent to a distant planet they barely care about, a low-level grunt, should not have been a Super Saiyan, should not have been protecting the universe, should have died, should have been killed by his brother at the end. And it's ridiculous that he did everything he did in there. Probably the antithesis of the chosen one. Now, if you're reading Dragon Ball or watching Dragon Ball, perhaps you would think that he was the chosen one because he's Son Goku, he's the Monkey King, but whatever. Besides the point. Saiyan Goku in Dragon Ball Z is not the chosen one. So I talk about some examples of that, and then kind of look at some other shows where like you might have assumed that this character was the chosen one, but turns out they weren't. Weird. Gohan is the chosen one. He just doesn't follow through on it. He's ultimate Gohan. He unlocks. Every time Gohan unlocks his potential, there's more potential hiding underneath. But in many ways, he was meant to be the chosen one. And then the audience was like, he's not Goku. I don't know what to tell you. Toriyama was like, oh, you don't want to see high school Gohan? Fine. You won't see high school Gohan. I got some ideas for another series that you're going to hate even more. Oh, your favorite Trunks? I'm going to show you the other version of Trunks where he's a jerk. I'm going to make Goku a kid. Gohan's going to be a nerd that doesn't do anything. Pan is going to be super annoying, and also there will be an annoying robot. Enjoy Dragon Ball GT, assholes. High school Gohan is the best Gohan. I love the Great Saiyaman. I think that's a fucking fun, silly arc. There's a villain. The villain character who's not a villain, the annoying blonde-haired high school kid is named Sharpener. Oh, it's fun. I like it. Yes. Yeah, Vegeta grows a mustache. I mean, look, there has to be something good about GT, and it's the fact that Vegeta grew a mustache. And then Super, he and Goku grew beards. Anyway, Pat Bear's Anime Club, watch the new episode of that. Please watch it. I work fairly hard on these, even if they don't have high production values. I don't do like clips of shows and all VO and all that. I don't go hard on that. It's just to camera. But the thing I will say about it is I do a lot of fucking research for every one of these. They shouldn't grow facial. They shouldn't need to grow facial hair, and their hair is pretty much like as an adulthood. It's just there. I don't remember. Toriyama already went back on that anyway at one point, and again they did grow beards. I don't want to talk about Saiyan hair. Do You Remembaer is an ongoing video series. Every Wednesday, I shoot a new video or put up a new video where I take a look at something from the internet, often Wikipedia, try to remember everything that I've read about it, and then tell you about it in a interesting and hopefully entertaining manner. This one is about Geeks Out. Please check out that video. Check out Geeks Out. Is it an excuse for me to just gush about a group that I really appreciate that puts on FlameCon, one of my favorite conventions of all time? Yes, but it's still good, so please check that out. Check out Do You Remember? Anyway, I'm going to talk about some. Let's talk about some anime. Then we'll talk about some manga. Let's start with the anime. Because we did have a final episode of a series, so we got to do our season wrap up on that. We'll talk about some anime, then we'll talk about some manga. But first, what I need to do is I need to drink some water before we get back to model kit building. So we're gonna dramatically transition back to the overhead, and I'm gonna drink a little water. Here we go. All right. Okay, we're back in the overhead here. We're going to continue to work on this. We got some stickers to apply, but first things first, we've got to talk about some anime. So we got some anime to chat about here. So Shikimori's Not a Cutie is episode 9 of 12. This series started a little later than other series, and also has had 2 different specials air instead of episodes. So it's pretty damn behind, but still a good show. And if you were like, I do like Izumi and Shikimori. I like them together. But what about the other characters? Well, this episode is for you because we got a fucking... This episode, Izumi has one line in the whole thing. And because he's sick for the entire episode. So this is an episode to see some of the other characters interact with each other. Mostly with Shikimori. And we figured some shit out in this episode. So Shikimori asks Inuzaka, who is like the kind of like tomboy, he's not the tomboy, he's the boyish like adventure-y guy. He's Shikimori, or he's Izumi's friend. Asks Inuzuka to like, hey, can you like take notes and bring notes home to me about like what we're doing? And that, for whatever reason, instigates Shikimori like having this kind of like rivalry thing going here, where she's like annoyed that, hey, my boyfriend didn't ask me to take notes, and my assumption being he didn't ask you because he didn't want you coming over and maybe possibly getting you sick, but whatever. Also, I do want to point out this there is an ongoing thing where Inuzuka, people call him Inu, and he keeps telling them to use his full name. And it took me a little while to recognize, Inu is dog. And he's like, don't call me dog. Call me my full last name. And then one of the friend girls, the one who's on the volleyball team and is sporty, she's Nekozaki. So he's Inu, dog, and she's Neko, cat. And I don't think that there's an animal name for Hachimitsu. Hachimitsu is the short one that speaks like very plainly and is adventurous, but is like kind of quiet and just kind of like is silly and fun. And it has a very funny moment in this episode. But I was like, oh, it's dog and cat. Got it. Anyway. Thanks to the great detective, Hachimitsu, she does put on a detective gear out of nowhere, which is fun. We figure it out. Why is Shikimori like this around? Why is she so like aggressive with Inuzuka? Well, it's because she has trouble communicating with her older brother, who he reminds her of. So her being like aggressive with him and then also kind to him is her like dealing with the fact that she like is kind of tsundere about her brother. Which Shikimori does not love figuring out. She is not super thrilled to figure this out, but they certainly like have a kind of rapport, and he understands that and kind of like uses it a way to tease her friend, his friendship with her, which is cute. And then let's see where we go from there. Okay. Then days later, it's Nekozaki's turn to hang out with her friend Shikimori. And they go to the mall, and they are just hanging out in the mall, having a good time, being friends. But who's over there? It's Kamiya. Now Kamiya's on the volleyball team with Nekozaki, and Nekozaki has wanted to hang out with her a bunch, but she never makes plans. We know her as the girl that has had a crush on Izumi for a year, and then Shikimori found out and kind of helped her work through it, because she's just like trying to be the bigger person and not say anything, but is hurting. So anyway, she gets invited to hang out, and we get Shikimori and Kamiya kind of hanging out and maybe becoming friends, question mark, but at least having common ground, and Neko getting in there and hanging out. And then a fucking weird thing happens. They end up at the basketball court. They're like hanging out of the basketball court, and they get approached by weird girls. Like, that's the easiest way to describe what happens here. One is like, bleach blonde hair and tanned Garu, and then another one is like, she has like sharp shark teeth and a mask and is dressed all in black. They are tough girls. They are just tough girls, but also very cute. It's a weird thing where they're like, hey, what are you doing on our basketball court? All right, well, let's play. Why are you so good at basketball? Why is this girl who's the judge like so dedicated? And she seems cool too. They're like supposed to be mean, but they're not mean girls. They just like they're just like, I think the joke is that they're acting like you would expect them to act, but like they're just putting on an act for it. Anyway, it ends with them taking a group photo, which is very funny and silly, but this is a weird episode. Episode 9 of Shikimori's Not Just a Cutie is very odd. Kamiya and Shikimori are legit friends now. They've become friends, and then Nekozaki and Kamiya have a good chat together. It gets a little awkward, but it kind of bounces back, and Nekozaki knows that, like, okay, well, she's not really opening up to me, but someday she will, and she knows she can, and that's good. But at least Kamiya seems to be happier than she's been before, which is nice. So everybody wins, except for the voice actor that plays Izumi, who had one line of dialogue and otherwise was not in this episode, which is weird. It felt weird that he wasn't in the episode. But yeah, other than that, everybody wins. And that's that episode. And then we got to the last episode of Trapped in a Dating Sim. The world of Otome games is tough for mobs. So yeah, we are on the final episode of this, episode 12. The principality that used to be part of the kingdom has attacked all these kids. And they've been fighting back, but it's been hard to do. Leon is, his ship showed up, the partner, so that to rescue the kids, the other students, and he has been engaging in his cool mech. We got some cool mech fights, one-sided fights. But the big problem is Vandal. Vandal is there, and he's also known as the Black Knight. He is stronger than Leon and also more experienced. And so it's not going well for Leon. But Leon refuses to run and decides to outwit Vandal because he gets out of the armor. They call them armor, but they're mechs. He gets out of his mech. And he's like, haha, so you're surrendering. He's like, nope, because the mech can still move because of Luxion, his robot. His robot assistant can still pilot it. And even though it's damaged, our dude still wins. And we're like, great, now he's going to surrender because this old man's like, kill me. And he's like, I'm not going to kill you. Shut up. But Garrett, who is the general of the evil general, is like, look, no one can know that this happened. We can't let people know that we lost to this country, especially that we lost to kids. So I'm going to use my final option. He is going to summon a bunch of monsters and wipe everybody out. And then, of course, Leon has his trump card, which is Luxion, the robot, is really just the small portion of Luxion. Luxion is a fucking ship, and the ship, we don't even see that big ship. We just see lasers coming down and destroying all of the monsters. Leon takes Vandal's sword, and he tells him and Garrett to live in disgrace. Basically, he's like, you got to retire. You lost to kids. You tried to invade an empire, and a bunch of kids, a bunch of these nobles that you say are weak, kicked your ass. Like, you think you're going to be able to just keep doing as you please? It's like, you're better off just retiring. Leave it to the next generation. Of course, he also does get a bunch of cool shit. And that's like the main story. So now we're just going to like tie up some loose ends, because I don't think we're going to get a season 2 of the show. So it's time to tie up all the loose ends, or at least some of the loose ends. Mainly, we got to... sorry, let me get this connected here, and then we'll talk about this. We've got to... Leon decides to make it so that Chris takes credit. Chris is one of the people in the group, the prince's group. He's going to take the credit because he doesn't want people to know how strong he is. But he still ends up, he can't avoid it. He's still going to become a high-ranking member. He becomes a viscount, and people still know he did a great job. Angelica and Olivia and Leon are all close again. The friendship has been restored. They meet Luxion, which is fun. We get one last mech battle. If you were like, oh, he beat the Black Knight. That's it. That's the end. Nope. One more battle. He's still got to fight Greg, one of the other prince's people. They put together a mech specifically, an armor specifically to fight him, but they did a terrible job with it. And because Leon was like, I'm just going to lose, so they like get their cred back. I'm just going to like throw the fight. But the armor is so broken and haphazardly put together that Leon has to destroy it. Otherwise, Greg will die. And he's like, I don't want Greg to die. They won't listen to me that this thing's messed up, so I'll just destroy it. He didn't want to do it. He didn't want to win again, but he had to. Let's see. Marie, who is the other isekai girl, who we pretty much think is Leon's real sister. Anyway, she's been collecting some stuff, some of the items that Olivia should have. She's been collecting them. That could cause a problem in the future. But again, I don't think we're going to get a season 2 of this anime, so probably doesn't have to worry about it. Leon can't avoid getting his rank raised to Viscount. Olivia says that she doesn't mind that he hasn't given her an answer to her love confession. Also, very clear Angelica also has feelings for him, but she hasn't said anything yet. But definitely she's looking to marry him. And that's it. That's the show. It is surprisingly good. I say this. I've been talking about it for 12 weeks. I did not expect that Trapped in a Dating Sim, the world of Otome games is tough for mobs, would be one of my favorite shows this season. But it fucking is. I love that he is just like, he's like, look, I'm a mob character. I shouldn't be the main character of this story. But what I will do is be the villain of the story. I will be an asshole, and I will take sick pleasure in being a jerk. I like that. It is refreshing. He still does the right thing all the time. The mech fights are pretty damn cool. They're nothing like super great, but they're good. The action is well directed. I think the characters are fun. It's somehow like the idea that it is the idea that someone is trapped in a video game world that he didn't enjoy playing, I think is really fun. That is a clever idea that this, he understands the dating game, this Otome game, but he didn't like playing it. It's not a well-made game in his opinion, and he's trapped in that game. I think that is a fun twist on the trapped in a game genre, subgenre of isekai. I think that there's something very fun about him just being very unhappy with what he's currently doing. I don't know. I just like that. I think that is a fun idea, and it is well done here. So that's I'll talk more about that when I do Pat Bear's Anime Club, which is a week from this Wednesday will be the next Pat Bear's Anime Club live. It'll be a live look at the previous season, or the current season we're in now, and then a look ahead towards the summer anime season, which is obviously coming up. Has there been an isekai about getting trapped in a cruddy mobile game that is full of microtransactions? There are gacha game anime or manga. They haven't been turned into an anime yet, but there are some manga about gacha games. Those are an excuse. Honestly, I can't believe they haven't been doing more of them, or it hadn't happened sooner, because it's the easiest way to build a harem, which is you just spin a gacha to get new girls, to summon those girls to just be your lady friends. So I was actually surprised when I started seeing those that hadn't happened sooner. But as far as shitty mobile games, I don't think so. This is one of the few of like, oh, this game actually sucks. There is like Hell Mode is one. It's got a longer title, but it's basically a guy like picks the hell difficulty for a game, so he's constantly at a disadvantage. That's an isekai. There is one that so far is a one shot that I really hope gets made into a full manga, because it's not based on a light novel. It's just a one shot about a girl that gets reincarnated into a dating game, an Otome game, but that's not her genre of video games. She likes shooters. So she's like a sniper in, the sniper princess or something to that effect. And that's just like a fun premise of her just being like, yeah, we can't let anybody know I'm really good at sniping. Because she died in like an accident and happened to touch a switch basically that had like a game on there. And she was just like, oh, I think I got summoned here instead of this other girl that liked these kind of games, because this is not my thing. I always thought that was a fun premise. Speaking of manga, though, let's talk manga. I got 2 manga stories to tell you about, and I'm going to do that right now. So let's talk about growing tired of the lazy high elf life after 120 years. This is, of course, a manga. It is, of course, an isekai. Our dude died and then has been living the sweet life, the chill sweet life. Just unbelievably cool. Yes, Lord Crashington, we will get into that, clearly based on a light novel title that tells you the entire plot of it. But growing tired of the lazy high elf life after 120 years. Just like a really fun premise of this dude died, got reincarnated. He was a workaholic. Now he gets to relax. He chills for basically in the forest as a high elf for 120 years, and then is just like, okay, bored now. Just bored now. Gonna go explore. And like, exploring is just like, he wants to like do some stuff, and he won't take no for an answer, and he just gets to go and do some cool shit for a while and then move on. And at the point where I've run out of chapters of the manga to read, he has become a renowned blacksmith, the only non-dwarf to be given like a prestigious title in blacksmithing. He has learned sword fighting, martial arts, and he also has become a skilled magic user to the point where he has created one of only 2 in the world magic swords. Because, of course, you gotta build a cool magic sword. He's got, and so there is action in this series, but it really is a slow burn, slow life series that occasionally has some moments of action. Like, some people have fucked with him, but that's not going to work because also I forgot to say he's born with the ability to communicate with spirits and use spirit magic. So like, if he knows when people are going to attack him, he can just ask this. He doesn't even sometimes have to ask the spirits. They will just like assist him. They'll be like, "You want to blow these folks out of here, right?" And he'll be like, "Yes." So he's traveled around a lot. He did get involved in trying to stop some humans from destroying some spirits by ruining the land and mining. So he's like not welcome in some areas. But he's traveled the world, met some cool people. Again, very slow, chill story. At this point where it is left off, he helped free some elf slaves, and one of them is pregnant, or was pregnant, and has a child, and half-elves are usually abandoned. And he was like, "Don't abandon the kid, I'll raise this kid." So that's where we are now, where he has like met a little kid, and he's now going to be a dad. And he's just like, I guess I got to adventure to have money to take care of this kid. And he goes back to somebody he knew that works in an inn to help raise the child. And of course, we saw this person as a young child, and to him it's just like a blink of the eye, and she's grown up because she's human. And now he's there, and he's just like, "Hey, I remember you. How about I pay you to be a babysitter during the day, and we'll live at this inn," which is pretty smart. But yeah, again, very chill. I'm enjoying it quite a lot. Growing tired of the lazy high elf life after 120 years is a solid isekai story. Just good characterization. And yeah, if you're looking for more of a slow life like the In the Land of Leadale style, where there was action, but it was more about the exploration, I think this is a manga you could check out and enjoy. The other manga I want to tell you about is, of course, Even Though I'm a Former Noble and a Single Mother, My Daughters Are Too Cute, and Working as an Adventurer Isn't Too Much of a Hassle. That is based on a light novel. It is a manga. Once again, that title is Even Though I'm a Former Noble and Single Mother, My Daughters Are Too Cute, and Working as an Adventurer Isn't Too Much of a Hassle. This is a story of an MC who is semi-immortal. They do kind of explain it, but they also don't kind of explain that. Basically, she's one of like 5 incredibly strong people in the world. She has twin daughters who are 10 years old. They live in an inn. She works as an adventurer. She is a particularly skilled adventurer, but she's only B rank. And you go, well, Pat, if she's one of the 6 or 5 strongest people in the world, why is she only a B rank? Well, that's because if you go to A or S rank, you have to be at the beck and call of the guild. And she doesn't want to have to like travel and do stuff. She wants to spend time with her daughters, the most important thing to her. So she stays as B rank. Now, also it's because even if she did want to rank up, she would have to join a party. She's always a solo adventurer. She'd have to party up because that's also important, is like contributing to a party and doing all that. And she's like, that's not for me. I work solo. Wants to stay in the middle management. Well, she wants her freedom, right? Because as you like advance, then they can start asking you to do more shit. And she's just like, nah, like no, I work, like I work for myself. Hey, Xandra, welcome. I'm talking about a manga right now. I'm going to literally put it back here in the chat. I'm talking about, we already talked about growing tired, but we're talking about, even though I'm a former noble and single mother, my daughters are too cute, and working as an adventurer isn't too much of a hassle. So, the thing with, it is a good title, right? I mean, it tells you everything you need to know. If you saw that, obviously it's a light novel, if you saw that on a book, you would go, oh yeah, I'll read that. Because it lets you know. That's why they do it, folks. They want people to buy the light novel. Or if you are scrolling through a list on a website, you'll look at that and go, okay, that sounds like something I'm interested in. Yes, that's why I do it, right, Xander? Well, that's the way, right? Because there was a time where, obviously, Bleach, that's just a quote-unquote cool-sounding English word. That's why Bleach is called Bleach. Is because the mangaka thought the word seemed cool. That's it. It's got nothing to do with anything. It's hard to do that. Now, you will see manga that just have, like, a name. You want a title that's own elevator pitch. Yeah, especially if you are pitching light novels. Now, there are manga, like, that do have just like one word or two word titles, but those are generally from creators that can pitch whatever. It's like not everybody has that luxury, especially people just starting out. So anyway, this woman, it is what it says on the tin. She had we don't know why. We don't know anything about who the father is. We don't know why she's a former noble. We do get a little flashback in the chapters that I have read where she is. She's definitely like not set up. Like this was not a planned thing. Taking your kids and going somewhere. But she's really strong. She's been working as an adventurer. Just gaga for her kids. Running gag in the series is her like bloodlust coming out because people are like, it's like one thing to be oh yeah, these kids are cute. It's another to be like too interested in like thinking the kids are great, and it's like crossing a line and pissing her off, which seems to happen at a drop of the hat. Towards the end of what I have read of this, in order to get materials she needs for medicine that maybe isn't actually necessary for her kids, but she's, they're sick, so she wants to get this medicine. She does have to work with a party, and so we get to see her interacting with some people. I should also say, this series is pretty much like, it's an action series, right? And you wouldn't necessarily expect minor characters you've barely met to die, but that does happen. This is not a slow life series or Cutie action series about a very strong woman that loves her daughters. That does happen. It is an action series. There are minor characters we are introduced to who do get fucked up and are dead. Now, again, these characters were barely introduced, and it's not the biggest of deals, but it does happen, and it is something to be like aware of. That shit goes down. This thing doesn't want me to put stuff together until the very end, which I don't agree with. We're gonna put the legs on the waist because the waist is done here, and then we'll move on to the body, the chest here. But yeah, so just some forewarning. As I said, right now we're hitting the point where she is starting to work with some people. We meet like a ranked adventurer who's a minotaur. Which, hey, I just want to say, very rare to see a Minotaur as like one of the demi-human races. It really struck me. This is a small little tangent, but like elves, high elves, you know, there are plenty of cat girls and, you know, dog and wolf people and all that. Like those things we definitely see, dwarves and all that. But like, yeah, this dude's just like a Minotaur. It's just like half bull, half man. And I was like, oh, you don't see that too much. Cool. I don't know. I just thought that was neat. Indeed, yeah, cat girls. Indeed, Xandra. Xandra knows. Also, I just noticed now, Xandra, that you've got the little icon next to your name for artist because you have made the emotes in my chat. So you are an artist in this chat, and that's cool. I just noticed that. Hades really changed my mind about Minotaurs. Yeah, I mean, like, look, somebody's got to protect the labyrinth. You think Minotaurs just want to hang out in the center of those labyrinths all the time? Some do. You think all of them? I bet not all of them. I bet not all of the Minotaurs are like psyched about people, like waiting for people to come into their goddamn house. All right. We got to put a sticker on here. Firmly apply stickers. Cut out each part cleanly. All right. We're building 2 sets of this, which is this like parts of the chest here. Oh, these are going to be the arm spots here. Why we have to put stickers on this, I don't know, but it does want stickers, so we will put... Yeah, we're going to cover this shit, but whatever. It does want stickers. These are color correcting stickers, so we will do it because it does ask us to do that. And we'll do 2 sets of it. Pardon me, sorry. So we'll do that now. Again, why are we putting stickers on a piece that is going to be covered up? Who knows? Anyway, yeah, so that's, even though I'm a former noble and a single mother, my daughters are too cute, and working as an adventurer isn't too much of a hassle. I'm enjoying it. I think it's like a fun little series. That's what I've been reading. Let's see. What I can give you my, like, here are other manga that I am waiting for there to be enough chapters for me to talk about it on stream. I'm waiting for more of, let's see, Strongest Beastmaster in the World is just getting, I'm just starting to read it, just starting to read the English of it. That's a fun premise. Our dude is, has a, he was born with a skill that everyone feels is cursed because he attracts monsters to him. But eventually he starts attracting divine beasts. And can these divine beasts turn into attractive ladies? Of course they can. But so they, you know, it's a problem because monsters keep showing up. But also a dragon lady and a phoenix lady show up. And I believe there is another lady that is coming that has not been in the chapters I've read so far. But I do believe that there are at least one more fun lady coming to hang out that are basically just like, yeah, I mean, we just answered your call and we're here. Which I was like, that's not the worst idea for a story I've ever read. It's not the worst. After being deported from the country, I became the 4th enchanter in the world is like, I've been enjoying that. Waiting for more chapters of that before I can talk about it on here. But basically the idea is there's a demon country, and the country that only cares about the one of the human countries that only gives a shit about having a strong military presence, and they don't care about anything else. They pick the enchanter, the alchemist that's there. They're like, you go. We need to send somebody there as a sacrifice. You go be our representative. And he's like, fine. Turns out, because he was an alchemist, to be an enchanter, you need to have every element and one of the elements, the dark element, like, the opposite of the light element, is only available in that country. So as soon as he steps over into this country, the demon country, he immediately levels up and becomes an enchanter and can make things without requiring, like an alchemist, turns lead into gold. An enchanter just makes shit out of like particles from the air. He doesn't need materials. He can also substitute materials and repair things and do all this crazy shit. So he instantly becomes like incredibly powerful. But they have him around because the demons are like, well, this is also great, but also we do want to learn more about the human world and humanity. So that's why you're here. I don't know. It seems like it could be good. I'm going to be reading that. I'm looking for more of that. I'll tell you about one more. My companion is the strongest undead in another world. There have been a couple of these types of isekai where someone gets summoned to another world and it doesn't fucking go well. A big one that we know, it's got an anime adaptation right now, is Shield Hero, Rising of the Shield Hero. There have been some other ones. This one, a bunch of people got summoned, and turns out very quickly, our guy, no offensive abilities, does not have any offense abilities, but is basically immortal and can heal himself. He can basically heal himself from injury. So what do? They lock him away and they torture him so they can study his ability and learn his abilities and take advantage of them. And he's fucking miserable and manages to escape with the help of an immortal vampire, an ancient vampire, not an irregular old vampire, a kick-ass cool vampire that is just like, all right, because you gave me blood and you helped me escape because they've been, of course, mistreating me here, the only way I can repay you is to be your bodyguard from now on. And of course, they want him back. They want the vampire back. It's a whole thing. There are other... we're at the point now where some other people that got brought over that don't know how he was mistreated are looking for him and are maybe going to try to fight the vampire because they have been told that she kidnapped him. Because, of course, she didn't. She helped, he helped rescue her. But whatever. They don't know that. Yeah, there's something to it. I'm waiting for more chapters to talk about it, but there's definitely something about that series that, like, I was like, okay, yeah, there's something going on here. There's something good about it. All right, I'm going to finish this part here. We already made a lot of progress on the Kenbu, and we will continue to Kenbu in our next stream. So, again, what's happening here? What's going on forward? Wednesday, I will be playing Jackbox Party Pack 8. June 22nd, please come hang out on Wednesday as I play Jackbox Party Pack 8 with y'all. A tradition around my birthday to play Jackbox. And then on Thursday, I'm going to be building the Kirby entry grade kit because it's my 42nd birthday on Thursday. So celebrate my birthday with me on Thursday. Play some Jackbox with me on Wednesday. We are going to go raid because we're wrapping up the stream tonight. We're going to go find another stream with some people who are doing some cool stuff and go hang out with them. So feel free to hang out here as we go and set up that. But yeah, please come back on Wednesday for Jackbox. Jackbox doesn't work if you don't come. If we don't have people, yes, it is. It's the birthday Jackbox stream. If we don't have people on Wednesday, it's not going to be fun. So please come on Wednesday. Oh, how long has Joe Kim been streaming? My buddy Joe has not been streaming at night lately. So I don't know. When did he start streaming? Because I would love to go hang out with him. Oh, no. He's been streaming for 3 hours. So we're not going to go raid Joe because he'll be wrapping up because he usually only goes for 3. Mary Kish is playing the Quarry. That's going to be a weird game to go see. raid, but we're going to raid Mary because it is Monday, and we often raid Mary on Monday. She's playing the Corey. Look, sometimes these kids are shitty. Sometimes these kids are cool. These teens, but we'll go raid that. You'll be able to catch up with the story very quickly. Also, Mary just kicks ass, so it's fun to go hang out with Mary. So feel free to come along on this raid. Thank you all so much for being here. Again, building a model kit on Thursday. The Kirby. We'll go back to the Kenbu once that's done, but we're starting with the Kirby model kit on Thursday for my actual birthday, and then on Wednesday playing Jackbox. Please come hang out with that. Come along on this raid as we go hang out with Mary as she plays the Quarry. It's one of those games. We're going to help decide who lives and dies, and sometimes we'll fuck it up. But come along and have a great night. Thanks everybody for being here. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.